Hello. So I have the code here for the LDR. This is for the light determined resistor. Light dependent resistor. So I have the initialize, so int is an integer, and this is how you initialize the variable. And it's A naught, which is the analog input. And then you create a value, let's blank. I don't need this part. This is just left over from something else. And then you have the setup, which is the serial begin at this time, which is to read it at the serial monitor. And then this is the main loop, and you take the variable from here and do analog read from this variable, which is from the analog input, and then serial input, serial print line in, and then delay half a second. So if I load it, and go serial monitor, you can see it's reading out the brightness. The higher the number of brightness, if I put my hand over it, it goes darker, and if I get a flashlight, it goes up. Let's see if the plotter works. So yeah, the plotter does work. So it's, if I go darker, it goes darker, and then room temperature, or room light, and then brighter. But typically, if you take the monitor, you can display this number on an LCD screen, and then you can have some feedback on your room brightness. Or I like because I kind of know these numbers a bit better, so like direct sunlight is almost 1,000, and then my light is on right now, but apparently I'll turn it off. And went down a little bit. So yeah, you can see how it's going down a bit. There's still the sunlight in. But these numbers I've kind of gotten used to what they mean, you know? And I can make it darker. And the circuit this is the circuit. So this resistor is a 10,000 ohm resistor, a 10K ohm resistor. And then you plug it into the analog 0 A naught input, and this is the configuration. And okay, now I have the circuit from this point of view. And so I showed the code and in the circuit, so you can get an idea of how it looks like in real life. But I didn't want to capture me building the whole thing. It just seems like a bit of a time waste, but you can see how it looks, and I can zoom in a bit. And in the circuit, since the circuit has since it's using the breadboard, it's not like a schematic, it's quite easier to follow along to know what actual pins to put in, and that should help. So you can look towards that in the code. And yeah, so on the serial output, this is where you pick about, I don't know what that is, but this is where it's set up on right here. And so delay, like I said before, is delay function, and then, so I'm not going to go too in depth in C++ coding. I might actually have some further content on that. But basically for variable int for integer and like this, and then the setup function, and then the main function, which is a loop to run through it, and delay and serial.print, and then put this variable in. And yeah, and that's about it. That's basically it for the LDR. Works pretty good. I like it to get some information on my on the brightness of my room, and it's a good data point. And yeah, and I'll see you in the next video.